So, today we're gonna read an article by the Psychology Today. I think .org or .com, I still don't know, but the link to this article is going to be down in the description. I did just remember that I've recorded something very lately. Have I uploaded this? Well, anyway, it is gonna be about What is the Point of It All by Sarah A. Showalter van Tongeren LCSW, which stands for I don't know, but it's all about having meaning in life and having a purpose in life and knowing why you're just basically, I think, getting up. So the most clarifying question you can ask yourself. As I was driving this morning to get routine blood work at my doctor's office, I was struck by the scene. It was 8 a.m. and I saw a woman perfectly manicured, hair done, makeup on, wearing on point fashion, walking into a hair salon. People were rushing around, going to school, heading into work, filling up the cars with gas, in lines to get a car wash and coffee. If I did not know it prior, I would not have been able to guess that we were in the middle of a pandemic, one in which we are currently dying and getting infected at a record pace, and we are looking damn good doing it. We live on a capitalism, and for some, that is taking its toll. I'm guessing that women doesn't have the ability to work. That woman does not have the ability to work from home. She may be deemed an essential worker by our government or governor. She needs to pay her bills, to live, to provide. There is nothing wrong with that. In fact, she might be a victim of the current situation and system. Work is not the enemy, it can be the means. I do not pretend to know her situation, I just acknowledge that she is risking her life to provide, and that may be the larger problem. A system that does not care for its people and that is set up to sell meaning. Before the pandemic, I too bought into the system. I did it under the guise of capitalism providing meaning, or so I thought. I was well traveled. New Zealand, Norway, Iceland, England, Hong Kong, and an upcoming trip scheduled for Brazil, all within a period of 2 years, let alone numerous stateside trips. Meals at new and upcoming restaurants. In fact, it was one of my hobbies. I would connect with others over. I enjoyed sharing the spoils of my finds and bringing people to these places to share a cocktail and a meal. I worked endless hours at work, often not coming home before 8 or 9 p.m. I thought this was who I was, and in fact, I wrote about it in one of my Psychology Today blog posts in the beginning of this pandemic. Capitalism indirectly provided me a sense of identity, a sense of who I was, giving me a relief from one of my core existential fears. Today while driving, I was faced with the profound and disorienting question. What is the point of all of this? When we can buy, schedule, and arrange our lives, we do not have to ask that question. It is simply and easily purchased. That question often does not present itself because we have answered it. Capitalism has commodified meaning. I find that in my work with clients, this question of what is the point is coming up more frequently than it had in the past. I find myself asking it as I did this morning. I resist giving my clients the answer because, frankly, I do not know it. I think when we are asking the question as when we ask any kind of existential question, we are actually asking, what is the meaning of this life? Many systems can answer that for us. Capitalism, religion, psychology, naturopathy, whatever the fuck that is, academia, science, etc. But I want you to answer it. To dig deep into the depth of your soul and ask yourself courageously, what is the point of it all? What is the meaning in this life? What is all of this for? And maybe, just maybe, we might discover something about yourself or ourselves along the way. And if you're lucky, you might just find yourself in the middle of an existential crisis, one that clarifies systems from meaning, not entwines it. Please consider posting a page that represents this for you and tag at The Existential Therapist and at Psych Today on Instagram. We would Psych_today on Instagram. We would love to see what brings you meaning and what you learn about yourself along the way. I mean, I gotta have to say, that having meaning in life is probably one of the most important things that there is, which is also one of the reasons why people like Viktor Frankl and also herself wrote pieces about, and Viktor Frankl even a book. There's just hundreds of other books about the same exact topic. But yeah, it's important. It really fucking is. We all need to have a reason for getting up. We all need to have a reason for enduring pains and enduring things. And sometimes other people can make it a little bit easier for us, having a loved one and or having a is it called specific other or special other? Something like that, something along the way. But yeah, it's essential. It is an essential thing we all need. Like, we all need a reason to get up. And yeah, often I do believe that having something to look forward to is a big ass thing, whatever it might actually be. And I think we can actually set that up for ourselves. Like, start watching a series that isn't out fully yet, so that there is something for you to look forward to. And well, it might be just a really bad example though, by the way. You could just probably do this with so many things, but once again, we are then in this consumerism cycle thing, which might not also be the best thing to be in. But there is so many things to look forward to. There is so many things to keep in your mind. Like, every single next fucking day could be the most amazing day you had in your whole entire motherfucking life. It is insane. It really actually is quite insane. But for me, since I'm very young, and I'm actually very fortunate to be that young, and maybe also that thoughtful. I don't like giving myself compliments, but I think I can give that to myself. I'm 19, turning 20, actually in less than 2 months, as far as I know. Which is insane, by the way, like, just really fucking insane. But yeah, I mean, what did I want to say? Fuck. Yeah, I mean, since I'm so young, there's quite a lot of things to look forward to, like my first child, if I am gonna have a child, or if I'm gonna have children, my first car, and my driving license, because I'm not fucking having it yet, motherfuckers. My first breakthrough with the podcast, if I am gonna have one, and so on and so on. There's actually so many things that we all could look forward to. We could, if we choose to, or if we chose to, yeah. Maybe I can actually find Viktor Frankl, meaning of life. Maybe I can find something very quickly, because I believe that he's also talking about like having something to look forward to and whatnot, because I've read it somewhere before or something. Well, anyway, Viktor Frankl on the human search for meaning, brain picking. I'm gonna check out this Medium article. I do hope that I'm able to do so. Yeah. Viktor E. Frankl on the meaning of life. Live as if you were living already for the second time, and as if you acted the first time as wrongly as you are about to act now. Which actually is pretty amazing, because as you think about it, you're doing things on purpose. It's not like, oh, I've lost this person, oh, whatnot, oh, this and that and whatnot, and it's things that you could be regretting, but no, you can't regret them because you did them once again on purpose. Actually pretty interesting. Anyway, I'm a little disappointed it took me so long to read this book. As a survivor of perhaps the worst episode of prolonged suffering in the human history, Viktor E. Frankl provides wisdom and insight in man's search for meaning. The first half of the book details his experience in the concentration camps of Nazi Germany. In the second half, he addresses logotherapy, the field of psychotherapy he developed from his own suffering, as well as his observations of others suffering during the Holocaust. The Greek word logos has various definitions, though from Frankl's perspective it is used to denote meaning. Logotherapy focuses on the meaning of human existence and on man's search for such meaning. Frankl discusses the existential vacuum, a place where every human being finds herself from time to time. In the existential vacuum, or vacuum, whatever, which often manifests itself as a state of ennui, or ennui, and so, or no instinct tells one what he has to do, and no tradition tells one what he ought to do. Sometimes one does not even know what he wishes to do. Instead, he either wishes to do what other people do, which is conformism, and or he does what other people wish him to do, totalitarianism. Totalitarianism. Anus. Yeah. So what is the meaning of life? According to Frankl, the meaning of life is to be discovered in the world rather than within man, or what? The meaning of life is to be discovered in the world rather than within man or his own psyche, as though it were a closed system. It denotes the fact that being human always points and is directed to something or someone other than oneself, be it a meaning to fulfill or another human being to encounter. The more one forgets himself by giving himself to a cause to serve or another person to love, the more human he is and the more he actualizes himself. What is called self-actualization is not an attainable aim at all, for the simple reason that the more and would strive for it, the more he would miss it. In other words, self-actualization is possible only a side effect of self-transcendence. The meaning of life changes, but it never ceases to be. It can be discovered in 3 ways according to logotherapy. By creating a work or doing a deed, by experiencing something or encountering someone, and 3, by the attitude we take toward unavoidable suffering. In sum, meaning is everywhere, all the time. Logotherapy is defined by the technique of paradoxical intention, based on the twofold fact that fear brings about that which one is afraid of, and that hyperintention makes impossible what one wishes. These technical terms describe a basic human phenomenon. When we fear something, we increase the chances of it happening, and when we try too hard to make something happen, we decrease the chances of its materializing. Think of struggling with sleepiness or anticipatory anxiety. 2 common examples Frankl discusses. Both of these uncomfortable states can be counteracted by paradoxical intention. If you have a hard time falling asleep, try to stay awake. If you worry about a sweat attack, resolve deliberately to show people how much you can sweat, thereby adopting a reversal of attitude that takes the wind out of the sails of anxiety. Logotherapy conceives of conscious as a prompter which, if needed be, indicates the direction in which we have to move in a given life situation. In order to carry out such a task, conscious must apply a measuring stick to the situation one is confronted with, and this situation has to be evaluated in the light of a set of criteria, in the light of a hierarchy of values. Those values, however, can not be espoused and adopted by us on a conscious level. They are something that we are. They have crystallized in the course of the evolution of our species. They are founded on our biological past and are rooted in our biological depth. I highly recommend his book, especially for those who are experiencing existential ennui, and I think everyone should read it at least once because it offers some powerful perspective on life and on living. I've read it as well. I've been listening to the audiobook of it. I should read it though, because I think that I would have gotten more out of it than by simply listening to it. But yeah, there you got it. And I actually don't want to say anything because I don't want to ruin the spirit that is existing now, so I'm going to end the episode. Thank you very much for listening and or watching, and I wish you the best health, happiness, and also success, and also hope that you're going to remind yourself and you're going to be remembered, which basically means your legacy, and basically means just being a nice person and then being remembered as a nice person, which is a pretty fucking cool thing. 3 other questions that I have you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions. So hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea, which is a pretty fucking cool thing. And one last idea that I want to give you is, what could you essentially say to another person that is indeed going to change their life. Because I totally believe that we all can say something and we all can communicate something that is indeed going to change somebody's life, which is an amazing thing to think about. And yeah, with that being said, please take care of yourself, your family members, and all of your loved ones. And I'm hopefully going to see you the next time. So bye-bye, and I wish you the best. Take care.